Hello, my name is Eric and I'm doing another one of my photography vlogs called One Body, One Lens, One Roll, One Day. I am here at Sharon Nature Preserve near Sharon Center, Ohio. As you can tell, it's a very bright sunny day. It is a kind of a warm-ish, we'll say low 50s February morning. Today's camera is a Bronica SQ-A. I've done at least one other episode with this. I'm not sure which one you're going to see first, this one or that one. But this one I'm doing something a little unique because right now all I have is a 220 back for this, so I don't, 220 film's been kind of discontinued for about 15, 18 years now. I don't have any 220 film. But supposedly what you can do is use 120 film in a 220 back, but you got to be aware of two things. One, the pressure plate for a 220 is a little looser than a 120, where it's going to push the film plane flat against the camera, because there's more thickness to 220 stuff. So it's a little looser, which means the film's lying a little, might be just a little slop. The problem becomes is that if you shoot wide open at like 2.8 or maybe even f4, depth of field, kind of helps you with the film plane, but because it's a little loose, it might step out of focus, like maybe a little bit of a front focus, back focus, or even just totally out of focus, because the film's not sitting flat where it should be. So the research that I've done says you can put the 120 film in the 220 back, but don't shoot wide open at like 2.8 or maybe f4. Shoot it more like f8, f11, f16, and depth of field should help you grab the film within where the film plane is sitting in the back itself. So today's film, some Kodak Ektar 100 in dates. This is some fresh stuff. Really love the Ektar stuff of old in the 90s, early 2000s. The 25 was my, one of my top 3 films. Agfa Ultra was one, and Fuji Reala was another. I wish I could see some of those come back, but so I'm going to load this 120 roll film up into this guy. Now the other issue is the camera doesn't know when you're done with your roll of film. You've only got 12 shots on this in a 6x6 camera versus 24 in a roll of 220. So what I've read was when you're done with your 12th shot, maybe take it to 13 just to be safe. Put a lens cap on and just wind in advance, so you're not letting any more film back into the film, and not letting any more light into the film area, and not getting chance of light leaks or something like that. So I'm going to get to about shot 12. I don't have a lens cap, but I got a dark jacket, so as you can tell, it's very windy. So I'll take off my jacket and advance it underneath the jacket to get it to finish up the count so I can take it out. The other way I could probably do it would be to put the dark slide in, just take the dark slide out, and I'm good. Just pop the back open and I should be okay. But I will take some precautions. All right, give me a second, let me load this up, I'll be right back. So unlike my Pentax 645, the 645 back opens up and you pull the cartridge out, you load it up, put it back in, there you go. The Bronica, as well as the Hasselblads, have a dark slide, and I can actually take the entire back off. What does that mean? Well, I can actually have 2 or 3 backs ready to go. I could have a roll of black and white film and a roll of color film and a roll of slide film. All I could do is put the dark slide in, take it off, put the other one on, take the shot I wanted to take with whatever film I wanted to take it with, slap it back on, so you can interchange rolls of film, not necessarily quickly, but within a minute, and you could be carrying around multiple rolls of film with multiple backs. A lot of these medium format cameras also had the option to have a Polaroid back. Now the Polaroid back would have used Type 669, 664, or any of the other variations of that Polaroid film, where you pull it out, you wait 60 seconds, you peel it apart, and you've got your exposure. You can do some creative stuff at that point. If you pull it early, you can maybe slap it on a piece of artsy paper and get a Polaroid transfer type thing. Kind of neat stuff. Polaroid discontinued that stuff, and then Fuji still had some stuff. The FP100 and the FP3000. One was color, one was black and white. That lasted a couple more years, but eventually that film disappeared. You can still find some on eBay at silly, ridiculous prices, but that's what happens when it's scarcity, and you know everybody or not say everybody wants it, but some people want it. And you can't find it. Some of it is because of that Polaroid transfer stuff, and some of it is you can instantly see the result of your shot. All right, I'm gonna head down that way. Let me see what I can get. She's all loaded up. Let's go. Okay, this guy is a manual wind camera where like my Pentax has an auto wind. This wind's kind of like a lot like the twin lens cameras like the Maya C330-220. But there's a secondary wind. The film back itself has a winding mechanism to get you to the next shot in the film. Then the bigger winder on the body cocks the shutter. So as you take a photo, you wind to the next shot, you cock the shutter, you focus, and you can fire. Now, as you notice, this has the prism finder on it, so I kind of shoot through it like a traditional SLR type camera, but you can also get the top down where I'm, you know, the folding one where you can look down and everything's kind of weird and backwards. But this is the one that I have. Okay, I'm going to keep going down the path a bit. Since I don't have a meter, I'm playing Sunny 16. As you can tell, it's a pretty bright day. I've got my shutter speed set for 125th of a second. I did back down one stop, so instead of Sunny 16, I'm playing Sunny 11. Just because the sun gets covered up by the clouds, and I want that little extra playroom. In-date film, I'm not exposing for old film. I'm just exposing because the sun tucks behind the clouds. All right, let me keep going. As it rained pretty heavy last night, there's water everywhere, soggy grass, so whenever you're out, especially if you're trying to catch reflections of water and stuff dripping, just be aware that it's going to be slippery, it's going to be muddy, wear appropriate shoes, and or be careful as you're walking around. You don't want to slip and have your equipment fall down and crash on you. All right, let me get a couple shots, be right back. And when you're shooting landscapes, especially like down a path like that, use the path as a point of interest. It's called leading lines. It's going to lead you in. The other thing that you can do is when you're shooting something with a nice horizon, don't put the horizon in the middle of your photo. Kind of lift it up or drop it down, kind of depending upon what you want to accent. Do I want to accent the clouds? Do I want to accent the path? But if you have that in the middle, sometimes it's like you can't decide which way you want your photo to go. Sometimes can look a little snapshot-ish. You know, there are rules of composition, but rules can be broken. I have found out that if you break more than one rule of composition, it starts to look more like a snapshot versus a nice photo. Some of the rules of composition, I'm sure there's probably a couple others. One, don't bullseye your subject. Don't put the horizon in the smack in the middle. It's not interesting. Use your rule of thirds, especially putting a key point interest at one of those intersecting quadrant points in the rule of thirds. I'm sure there's a couple others. I'll think of them maybe in a bit. But for now, I'm going to go shoot some more. Be right back. So as you can tell, it's actually very windy out here, and it is just open area, so you may be catching some wind on my mic. I'll try to block it as best I can. I'm on shot 11, so I got like 2 shots left. Again, this is a roll of 120 film and a 220 back. And I am shooting at f8 at about 125th of a second. I'm going to take that up to f11. Hopefully depth of field, grab the film plane because the film may not be sticking completely flat. Maybe I'll catch some softness or something like that. We'll see what happens. So experimenting like this, you know, you see the rumors on the internet, you hear people talking about it, saying, hey, try this, try this, try this. I figured I'd try this. So far everything seems to be working okay. We'll see what happens in about 2 or 3 shots when I'm at the end of this roll. Let me get a shot or two. All right, and I just felt the paper, the film part at the tail end of 120 film, let me amend that. At the beginning part, it's taped to the paper. At the end, it's not. I just felt the film end release from the the top spindle as I'm winding to the bottom spindle. So I know that was probably my last shot. I'm going to do one more just in case. Then I'm going to go into my car and take the film out through the back. Versus, I mean, I could sit here and just kind of do this and get past it, but I'm heading back towards the car anyway, so I might as well finish it out. All right, so if I get photos or you like the cool technique, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Hopefully something works. Shooting film, you never know, but this is in-date film, and it's a technique that I've been told by a couple of people that it does work with, two little minor things. Feel free to comment on your experience with the Bronica. This is a Bronica SQ-A. They have not made Bronicas since like 2004. Tamron discontinued them. Tamron owned Bronica for a while. Feel free to comment on your experience with the, what did I use? Ektar? Yeah, Ektar 100. Oh, that's my note. Ektar 100 film. Feel free to share. Feel free to subscribe. New episodes try to come out about every Friday and every Saturday. It's a very windy day. Time to go run my errands. I'll see you next episode.
Okay, so it looks like I had a error when I loaded it because the film is completely blank, and I'll show you the shot of the negatives momentarily. So I'm going to go out and shoot this again with some 120 film into that 620 back on the Bronica. We'll see how it goes, and then hopefully the technique works. Maybe it's not designed specifically for this camera. Maybe it's designed maybe for a different camera. But let's find out. So I'm going to show you the shot of the blank negatives. Feel free to say, oops, guess what? These things happen with film cameras. All right, thanks for watching.